All right. So as we have done in the past, after this 1.5 hours of weekly mindfulness workshop, we are getting on to a bit of a discussion about what and how practice is. So I would like to therefore hear your voices to start the discussion. Any report, any comment, any complaint, criticism, more than welcome.
Yeah, so nothing super strange, that one. Just lots of face tinglings and, just felt like things were crawling all over my face. I have got something I've noticed the last few meditations that sort of getting to me a little bit is just like the frowning. Like my body's relaxed, but I feel like I'm frowning, and it's hard to relax this area from sort of frowning.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, like, felt like every 10 minutes or so, I'd sort of just do like a short breathing. Like, I think I was sort of stopped my focusing on my breath because I was, observing the tingling sensations, and then I'd just sort of go really quickly. That's about it, really.
Yeah.
Nothing else to report.
Right. Okay. So you started saying there is nothing major, and that itself is a report. Because when we practice, our mind is trying to expect something major, something super special. And in practice, we don't have any expectations of whatsoever. We just relax, or we just sit and bring our attention to the body. And our mind somehow or other is running its agenda and trying to tell us, oh, expect something, or put it in, or the fact that you are expecting something will be put in a different way, as if it's boring, right? So, but it has a very big, what do you call, Dhamma message, which is how the mind is trying to trick us to expect things. So that's number one. Number two, you mentioned about tingling. And so long as these tingling and crawling sensations are there, so long as you don't react to them, that's all what is needed. So this is the first stage, that you are enjoying being away from the sensual pleasures and sensual desires, right? So the mind is relaxed now. That relaxed mind is what you call manifested, or is enjoyed by the mind itself. And for that enjoyment, mind is using the body, because that is how the mind has been using our body. So even at this stage, it is telling us, okay, these type of things are happening, but you mentioned, although the body is relaxed, these tingling sensations are going on, and at the same time, the frowning is happening, because that is the next stage. When those tingling sensations are there, especially after the body scanning, what the body scanning does is to trigger the attention to the body, because we haven't observed our body, we haven't got into our body in this manner in the past. So now it has come with the body scanning as well as the practice. When it comes to the body, the areas where we have soft tissues, we start feeling first, right? So that is what is happening with the tingling sensation. So it's again a a sign that it is moving forward. And why the frowning is happening is because when the body is relaxed, the negative energies that have been there are no longer required. And therefore, they start getting accumulated, right, on one hand. And that accumulation, the mind doesn't like, mind doesn't know. So therefore, it becomes a bit of a tension. It becomes a bit of an unexpected. It becomes a bit of a pressure. So it's starting to build up, right? As if when you boil some water, and as soon as the kettle is turned on, some small noise is coming, and it takes some time to boil up, and the switch to go off, so on. So that's the first stage that you're experiencing now. And the other thing I want to mention about is on this frowning thing, and after that you said you take a bit of shallow breath every now and then. And you, before that, if I ask a question, were you observing your breath, or was your breath prominent, or it was very subtle?
I don't think I was observing my breath when it happened. I think I was sort of observing the tingling.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So in other words, what it simply says is your breath has become so subtle and the mind is in the body. And when the mind is in the body, your attention is not with the breath. So although it is not with the breath is very subtle and comparatively, and the tingling sensation is more prominent, right? So when the breath gets subtle in this manner, mind is reading that the body is not having sufficient oxygen, right? So because the machine is working in the normal way, it has been working, but it doesn't have enough fuel. So it's taking fuel every now and then. So since you have observed this, next time when it happens, now you have observed that it is happening naturally. So when next time when it is about to happen, you just let the body to breathe and you don't get involved in it. Does it make sense? Sometimes may not be, but it is a stage that you can break into. Don't try to do that, but see before it happens whether you can perceive that it is about to happen. Okay. If it is about to happen, just let the body take a breath without you all of a sudden taking a breath. Right. So it's again, now you are gradually going through the body, going through the subtler sections of the body. So Johnny Walker, keep marching.
Sorry.
Johnny Walker, keep marching, I said.
Okay.
You have a different appearance now. Could not recognize.
I am growing a bit of a beard.
Yeah. Good.
Good?
Yes, it is good.
Okay. Thank you. Everyone, Sarana.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. Everyone, Sarana.
Thank you.
Bhante, starting meditation during start of the week is a bit of a challenge because of so many things going on with the first few days of the week. But today I start a little bit late, but get into walking quite quickly and start walking, and then keep my focus on food, and then walk a few rounds, and then it's kind of distribute through body and body sensation. And I'm trying to I know that I'm a bit prepared. I knew that at that point my mind is scattered and trying to go around things, and a bit prepared, and trying to pinpoint where that mind is taking off, that thought process. So starting that thought process, it's very subtle. Couldn't go there, but I know that it's happening at some stage. And walk with folded arms and keeping arms back and forth, and it just coming from thoughts, and it's a switching between both, and focus on legs and then come back. And also I feel that body movement as whole. And and then it's a bell, I hear the bell, and then start sitting down for the sitting meditation. The sitting meditation is much easier with that body focus from head to toe, and very quickly get into the meditation pattern, and usually goes to dark place. And with some time back, because of one, my right leg become numb, and then I had to change my posture, and that keeps like some thought process. Like I felt like I now thinking forcefully, and then that went away as well. And during that time, there was a bit of a switch between breath and thoughts. And because of the dark place and kind of going through that, and I realized that somehow I have a feeling that I had to kind of wake up and come, but this time I didn't try forcefully to bring awareness to breath. I let it naturally happen, and if it goes away, it's let it go kind of thing. And I start feeling cold because I didn't have a jacket towards the end, but different sensations came through, and like that. Why that way meditation continues until the end. Yeah.
Good. Again, the way the report is produced is encouraging, because you have now changed the view that it is something that you will have to allow to happen and then observe. So that's a great change. And talking about the walking mindfulness, what you simply say is sometimes you walk thinking, and sometimes you think walking. So these are the terms used by one of the practitioners in the retreat. Said sometimes I walk thinking and think walking. So that's a very nice analysis. And towards the end, you mentioned that you observe that the whole body is felt, and you just keep walking. So which means you now have completely allowed to come away from your involvement in the walk. So sometimes the walking is prominent and it goes on, you don't put your fingers. Sometimes thinking is prominent, and there you have a subtle attempt to have a control over it. Even that don't do, because you haven't asked for these thoughts to come. They have occurred on their own. So who cares? So if you have come, if you want to stay, you stay. If you want to go, you go. Then they become just thoughts without seeds. Otherwise, if you try to control them, or if you try to get rid of them, then what happens is you are going to give life to the dead thoughts, right? So don't worry about them. If the mind wants to think, just let it think. But now why this happens is because now you are gradually in the body. So that was the end statement, that you were feeling the whole body. Now things are happening on their own. You are gradually getting into the flux of physical process and the mental process. It is not just the physical process, the mental process is also happening. It's just a flux where you have no control over and where you don't have any identification of yourself, and you are gradually taking the self, and that is the reason why when you go to sitting, you sort of experience this dark place, but you used a statement saying comparatively sitting was easy. So that means mind is still looking for some enjoyment, some peace, some relaxation. That it is not very much. It was not very prominent, but it's there in a subtle way. So that specific differentiation between the two should gradually reduce. I would say it has reduced 95%. Still, that subtle comparison is going on. Let it go on, but we can't stop them. Only thing we can do is we can observe. By observing, we will not fuel them, even with mental corruptions or underlying tendencies. So these are underlying tendencies, basically, or mental corruptions we call it. So even that can be gradually ripped off at this level, and it's not going completely, but when you go further, there are other mental corruptions that may come up. So until such time, we have come to a point where we can handle them, where we can tackle them. And also at the very start, you mentioned it's very hard. It is, I know, being a family man, when the kids are teens, it is not easy to do. But even then, doing it is the way forward, is the sasana. So it's not for you. This is how we keep the sasana alive, right? So if people don't practice, there is no sasana. It is there and no one is enjoying. So with this, don't worry. What Lokohamduru says is, even the wheel-turning monarch is worshipping. So keep doing that, no matter what comes your way, and that prepares the mind much more stronger way to practice. And coming back to sitting, even there, the crust was breath and thoughts, and sometimes subtler breath and thinking, and once in a while it goes into this dark place, right? So why you get into this dark place is because you are now gradually going into the state where there is no hatred, where there is no sense pleasure. So when those things are gradually fading away, the space where these things were springing up is coming up, which is the delusion, right? So since you mentioned that twice, so which means it is happening more than once now. So let it happen over and over again. So that increase in frequency implies that you are what do you call thin slicing even that delusion at this particular stage, or it may even be neither pleasant nor unpleasant situation. So we exactly don't know, because you mentioned something in relation to that as well. That I would suggest you will stop. That is, when the leg is numb, the answer is not changing the posture, and that is the next stage. When the leg is numb, let it be there, and the next level of pain is coming. So if the next level of pain is coming, and if you go through that, then you can sit for more than 1 hour, right? So this numb is a juncture. So don't change the posture when the numbness is there. Just keep continuing, and then you can then go through that as well. So that numbness, as well as that dark place, is having some parallel, right? Physically, you get things get numb, and mentally things you don't identify. Even the mentally you are numb, right? So therefore, if you go through this numbness physically, then there is another episode that will start playing. So compared to few months ago, I think it is picking up very well. Teruvan Saranai.
Everyone said about it.
Teruvan.